hold that against
Yes.
you. As black men, we've pointed this out on many, many occasions, how those of us who are socially conscientious, that have an activist soul, that is willing to fight for the underprivileged and beyond, like Jaylen Brown does, might have contributed to him being disliked. Isaiah Thomas is one of those people. You know how much great things that Isaiah Thomas has done in this world from an activist standpoint? Do you know that Isaiah Thomas is largely responsible for the diversity that exists within the media? Because when he was the president of the Players Association, he was the one that fought with the league to make sure that blacks got to cover the NBA. Isaiah Thomas has always had an activist soul. How could you suddenly not understand where I was coming from? And if you didn't understand it, why didn't you call me? So the last part I want to say is this, Shannon, because it's very important. I want to hand this to you because I want you to comment about this. Ladies and gentlemen, you got a lot of people with their podcasts, especially people like yourself with the 3+ million followers. My brother, keep doing your
Appreciate
thing.
You, bro.
Right? Let's understand something. You got people out there talking basketball. I cover it. I have been a reporter for 30 years covering the NBA. When I called the league about Russell Westbrook, I didn't call him to get suspended. I called to find out. Why? Because our show was leading into the game, and the network asked me to call to find out the details. You talk the game. I covered the game. I have sources in every single locker room, in every single front office in the NBA. You don't have to believe it. It's a matter of fact. But in the end, please understand something about me. I don't want enemies. I got love for people. I'm a very happy individual, as you well know. I'm living a good life. Life has treated me very, very well a whole bit. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to be anybody's enemy, but I am not here to be your friend. I have a job to do, and I'm going to do my job. And if somebody that I trust, that is a source that I've known for decades, texts me and gives me a perspective on Jaylen Brown that I find other people are saying it, there's nothing wrong with me highlighting it. I didn't agree with it, but I pointed out that it's being said. We don't have Thanksgiving dinner together. We ain't exchanging Christmas gifts together. If people don't want to talk to me, don't talk to me. I'm still going to do my job. That's the way it's going to be, and that is the way it is going to stay. I say that respectfully, Shannon, because I don't want nobody to think I'm trying to be enemies. I'm not trying to dismiss anybody. I pride myself on being fair, being humane, but I'm professional. I'm going to do my job. I don't owe anybody not to do my job. That's not what ESPN hired me to do. Go ahead, Shannon.
First of all, if you're in the business and you cover sports, you cover government, and you cover anything, you reveal your source one time, you're going to be out of business. Isaiah knows that. Jaylen Brown knows that. Everybody that's around the sports, if you reveal your source one time, you're no longer going to have a job because no one will ever talk to you again. Second of all, because you're one of the great players in the NBA, because you have one of the great contracts in the NBA, that doesn't mean everybody is marketable. Everybody in the history of the NBA or a sporting event, just because they were great at something, doesn't mean they're marketable, and that's okay. I love what Jaylen Brown does. The way he tries to highlight issues that's going on in the black community, be it finances, be it the social justice, no matter the case. And you have to weigh that when you take a stand, understand that there might be blowback or consequences that come along with your actions. It seems to me that Jaylen Brown is okay because he seems to believe that he has a higher calling and a higher purpose. I agree with it. But we've got to stop this notion because, well, he's one of the best players, he's got to be marketable. That doesn't necessarily mean it to be true. I agree with you, Stephen A. I wish Isaiah had called you. I know Isaiah very well. He and I have always had a great relationship. But I don't, there's, and sometimes, Stephen A., we do things and we don't think about it at the time. It's just like, I just want to go ahead and put this out there when we could have I could have called and said, somebody said, bro, this is what I'm thinking when I said this, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't happen. But man, we got to stop being so upset at everything. We have jobs to do on television, and that means you're doing a great job. Because if you love everything that I say, you love everything that this man say, that means we're not doing our job. And what we're trying to do is appease people. What we're trying to do is give you our honest opinion. And it's probably going to be different than some of you guys' opinion on some topics. That's okay. When did we always have to agree with everything? Just because Stephen A. is black and I'm black, I don't have to agree with everything that he says. He doesn't have to agree with everything that I say. You don't have to agree with everything that we say. That's okay. Jaylen Brown is great. He is a great player. I love what he's doing on and off the court. But because he's making $300 million on the court, that doesn't mean he has to make $35, $40 million off the court and have a signature sneaker deal or have this or that. Maybe that's not what he wants. Maybe advertising the brands, that's not what they're looking for. And that's okay.
Listen, man, at the end of the day, and I said this before, you know, when you had, you know, when people were coming at you a few months ago, you made a very profound point that I make sure to echo time and time and time again. When you interviewed Cat Williams, it was like your 1,002nd show or something like that. I believe that's what you said. You never heard anything until the Cat Williams interview. So all of a sudden, it's successful and it's boom. You know, here come the floodgates. First Take, in a time when linear television is, you know, is
not what it once was.
Not what it once was, whatever. First Take's been #1 for 12 consecutive years. First Take is up 23 consecutive months. Okay, First Take is doing what it does. So I get text messages and people are like, that ain't been a part of this, that didn't help us get here. Oh, Stephen A., you got a responsibility to do this. Stephen A., you got a responsibility to do that, blah, 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 blah. And then they act like they're the only person that's talking. Right. When there's a potpourri of other individuals, you know, same ethnicity, same circles, et cetera, et cetera. No, they got a totally different opinion. And they're probably saying, well, you got to say this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, I have a job to do. And here's my point. Shannon, there's like, you know, because you got players out there that can't stand me, don't like me, whatever. I got far more players that got love for me, and I'm cool with it, and it's fine. Yes. Those who don't like me, trust me, I don't lose any sleep over it. I'm not going to miss you either. But that doesn't mean I hate you or anything like that. When I got this stuff and the stuff with Draymond Green, I love Draymond Green, man. Yeah. We have a disagreement, but Draymond Green is a good brother. I think he was wrong, but he's a good brother. He's always going to be a good brother. He ever needs me, I'm going to be there. Isaiah Thomas has been my big brother for years. I got mad love for him. Nothing's going to change that. But you just find yourself watching these people, and you sit in the culture that has changed, that has shifted everything in this industry. You got folks out there just talking. It could be for clickbait. It could be because they just hating on somebody. I'm like, what about the facts? What about the facts? When Steven Jackson said something about me weeks ago, where are your facts? Your facts were wrong. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything about him, but personally, your facts were wrong. In the end, I have a job to do. I'm going to do my job. I don't want enemies. I don't hate anybody. I don't want anybody to hate me, but it is what it is. Right. I'm going to do my job.